What's up, weirdos? What's going on, guys? What's going on out there? Bitcoin just doesn't seem to want to go down, eh? She's being stubborn. She is being stubborn. Look at her. Look at her. We maintained the 30-day SMA. One. It was resistance twice. Well, here and here and here and here and as well, and here. But then we got above it, and then it was support for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days now. 5 days. And now we lost it yesterday, and I thought we were going to potentially come down and test 80 to 81K down here, the top of the trend line here. But we didn't end up doing that, did we? We ended up closing back above 84K today. We're sitting at 84.3 now, almost 84.4, and Bitcoin's trying to make another run at 85. So basically, guys, look at all of this. 5 days in a row. Rejection, 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 right? Between 85 and 86K. Now, you might feel like that might be bearish, and it can be. But it also shows me that we are very, very slowly chipping away at that sell wall, because this is what happens. If you don't know much about how crypto works, how charting works and stuff like that. So when you have a lot of wicks like this, you know, over the course of, 5 days, 6 days, 7 days, whatever, 10 days, right? What this means is that there's a big sell wall. There's a big sell wall right in this range, price range, okay? Right inside this price range. Now, a sell wall is essentially a bunch of sell orders, like a lot of sell orders that are put there for people to automatically take profits, right? Or in some cases, when somebody wants to suppress the price, for example, they'll contribute, like whales or whatever, they'll put massive sell walls in this area to reject the price off so that you roll back to the downside, right? And they put in a short at the same time so that they make money off the collapse, right? As we continue to hit here and reject off, what we're actually doing is we're chipping away at that sell wall, because every single time we go up here and we hit and we reject off and we come back down, some of those sell orders are filling, right? That's what's pressing the price back down. It's selling pressure pushing us back down, and that's how we end up with a wick. So when that happens, eventually, if we keep hitting it like that, right, you end up weakening that sell wall enough that the buy orders will start to outnumber or outpace the sell orders, and instead of the rejection, you end up breaking through, right? So far, I mean, we're maintaining, we're not dropping below the 30-day SMA, and we continue to chip away at this sell wall. So very, very interesting. We may end up breaking to the upside. I don't want to tell you for sure that's what's going to happen, but if we go back in time, let's go back in time a little bit here. Okay, I'm going to show you something. You guys remember, where are we here? 100K. 100K, where are we? Right. Guys, remember this? It took us a long time to get through $100,000, right? There was like this range right inside here where we just kept rejecting off for about a week and a half to 2 weeks. Remember? We kept going to like 96K, 97, 98, and then reject back down again. And remember, you guys remember that range? Back in like December-ish, January, whatever, right in here, right? Well, eventually we chipped away at that sell wall at $100,000, and we broke all the way up here like this violently, right? We broke violently to the upside out of it. And we went all the way up to about 106,000. Well, we wicked up to 108,000, but we, the full body candle at 106. So we climbed up like $10,000 or something like that in one night. You guys remember that? So that's similar to what's happening right here. We're chipping away at this sell wall, and if we continue to chip away at it, we could see a violent move to the upside after we break out, right? So just pay attention to that, guys. Pay attention to that. Sorry, again, guys, I cannot stress how sick I am right now. Like, I am amazingly sick, right? I'm gonna get into these super chats. You boy first makes it first. Amazing. Hold on. Sorry, guys. I got a bad cough, so I can't laugh too hard. Amazing coins. You lost that one, man. Your boy first. I jumped over to crypto blueprint and did it there too. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Eddie, what's up, man? Hey, boss. Thank you so much for being the real deal. It's rare to see these days. Hey, I'm just part of the community, brother. I'm just part of the community that we have all built together. I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. Amazing coins. I was feeling generous this time. Every dog gets his bone sometimes, but I'll see you again tomorrow. Isaac, my guy, my dude, thank you so much, buddy. Rob, I want to thank you for the guidance on my crypto journey and just for you being yourself. Isaac, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you, man. You've been with me a long time now, Isaac, and you know what? We are in for a long journey together all the way through the next 4-year cycle as well, man. I'm excited about where you're going to end up at the end of this, man. It's going to be absolutely phenomenal. Thank you so much, brother. Sith Lord, member for 2 months. This feels like a lifetime opportunity. Don't miss it. Yes. Amen to that. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I could not agree more. Let's get into the chat a little bit. WF Capital in the house. What's up, man? Woo, I was feeling generous to let you get away with this one. Jovan, what's up, man? Last night, heard you mention you tapped the bushwhack. I tagged with him. Yeah, that was epic. When I was a kid, my big brother performed all the wrestling moves, Superfly, Snuka, Hulkster, and all. Yeah, I got to be the battering ram for Bushwhacker Luke. Yeah, the Bushwhackers. If you guys don't know, right? So yeah, it was a good time. It's a good time, man. Easy, yo, what's good, man? What's good? Hockey's almost playoffs. Playoffs start this weekend, don't they, Beebs? Do playoffs start this? Is it this weekend? Doesn't that feel kind of soon? Because I know that the Leafs play again on like Thursday, right? There should be like a week off or something like that. Because like the last games are happening on like Thursday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then they got to play playoff hockey like 48 hours later. That's crazy. I think that's crazy, man. Gary Gensler is like the guy character in Spooky 2. Talking about Shaggy. Playoff hockey, let's go, baby. How did you know I was feeling like a sissy? Why does this first today taste like a worm? I need my glasses. Until next time, coins. Until next time. Funky. Bimmed from 5 mil to 7.8. Zebek buying those dips. Nice. That's how it's done, man. That's how it's done. You know, somebody else is going to step in tomorrow. Your boy and Amazing Coins. Somebody else is going to step in and beat you both. Watch. Funky. I need to proofread. I think I'm going to start a ZA group meeting for myself and others. Zebek Anonymous. Right? I need one for Miria too. Seriously. Guys, hit the like and subscribe to the channel. Helps the channel grow. Doesn't cost you a single thing, believe it or not. So absolutely check it out, guys. It would really, really be greatly appreciated if you would go ahead and do that. Help a brother out. It's the HBO special, guys. Right? We have an HBO special going on YouTube today only. The HBO Help a Brother Out. Don't forget to smash or gently tap that like button, y'all. Absolutely. Beast mode. I voted sissy. Feels like yeast mode. Ah, man, that's awesome. Dave, what's up, man? Feels like more personal over. Feels more personal over here. Yeah. Jovan with the super chat. Thank you so much, man. Let's get some NyQuil, bud. Yeah. I don't know, guys. If you're on the Patreon, I don't think that there's going to be a live tonight over there. I'm going to just drown myself in Neocitrin tonight and get some sleep so that I can be better rested for tomorrow. Today was a train wreck trying to get all the content out and everything for you guys because I ended up sleeping in too late because I had Neocitrin and knocked me out. So it's just I got to get some rest tonight. So for sure. Yeah. Let's get back into it here. Where are we? Isaac, you might want to get that checked out. Yeah. Yeast mode. What amount of Zebic would you consider a whale? A whale? Like 100 million, 150 million, maybe something like that. I don't know. I could be way off. I don't know. Because I hold quite a bit, and I don't consider myself a whale, but I don't hold 100 million or anything. Don't get me wrong. But Leo, what's up, buddy? Yeast mode, yummy, my favorite. Bitcoin holding the 80s is bullish, especially going into May. Yes, I agree, Beebs. I agree. I'm curious if we're going to retest that 85K again tonight and over the next 24 hours. If we can break above 85K and close a candle there, that would be great. We need to see some volume. We need to see the bulls step in and just push us up over 86K for a daily close. That would be super fantastic. Do it. Rith. So I just gambled some money on meme coins. Future of base is looking fantastic. What do you think, Rob? Future of base? I don't think I've ever heard of that before. Future of base. What's the ticker on that? Let me know what the ticker on that is. Romeo, watching over on X. Evening all. Hoping tomorrow Fed meeting was positive vibes. Yes, absolutely. I agree, man. Crypto class 2029 in it for the long haul. Let's go, baby. Absolutely. Mike, what's up, brother? Looking like you're feeling better, man. Believe me when I tell you, I am not. They say fake it till you make it. Believe me, I'm sweating here right now. I'm trying to hold back coughs and stuff. It's not good, man. It's not good. Where would you comfortably exit? For Jasmine? Well, I mean, I always front run the market, Mike, right? Like I always exit earlier than everybody else. So, what I would say, I have a chart. There's a chart that Nia shares over on the Patreon in the chats. Check it out. She's got all of my exit prices and everything on there for all of the projects that we're in. Check it out, and your answer will be on that sheet. I promise you. Matt, what's up, buddy? Leo, what's up, man? Taco Wednesday. Fair enough. Clifford, get in the rest while you can allow yourself. There you go. Get the rest while you. Yes, exactly. We appreciate everything you do for us on the daily over on the Patreon. Appreciate what you do for our community. Rest well tonight, brother. Thank you so much, man. That chart is a cheat code of crypto. There you go. All right, let's get into this. This Gary Gensler meeting interview on Squawk Box today, guys. Check this out.
War between the U.S. and China escalates. Florida Republican Senator Rick Scott now calling upon the SEC to delist Chinese companies. Joining us in an exclusive interview to discuss this and so much more. It's his first time speaking out since leaving office. Former SEC Chair Gary Gensler. Gary, great to have you on the broadcast. And I'll start with what Rick Scott is talking about. How do you feel about the role of the SEC being used in the way that Rick Scott is effectively asking for?
First, it's great to be back with you, Andrew and Joe. I miss Becky, but good to see you, Kelly, and all of your viewers. Look, it's a privilege to be in the U.S. markets. We have the deepest, most liquid markets. They've been very choppy recently, as you know, because of all the policy uncertainty. But China for 20 years was not really following our rules. But we were successful in a bipartisan way with Senator Rick Scott. He and I used to talk on occasion about this, with a lot of success with other senators as well, negotiating with China that they behaved and they followed the rules. And we treated China with respect, but with firmness. And as long as I was there, they entered into a 50-page agreement, and they have been abiding by those agreements.
So, Gary, you've negotiated with the Chinese before. To the extent that you can try to put your head in their head,
yeah,
how do you see all of this playing out as it relates to tariffs?
I spent a lot of time with their Ministry of Finance and their senior financial regulators, and I think it's not going to end well, Andrew. I think it's going to be a bit of a quagmire. My experience is that they're tough negotiators, don't get me wrong, and they're looking out for their advantage. But the best way to handle that situation is to be consistent, to be honorable and treat them with dignity, and to take the toughest messages private and one-on-one. And I will tell you this, when they see inconsistency in policy, they tend to veer back. They lean back and they don't like to engage. And they sort of think that time is on their side. I'm not saying it always is, but that's how they think, is time's on their side, and they can outweigh the volatility of the policy on the other side. So that's why consistency, respect, but yes, firmness is important.
In terms of leverage, to the extent we have any, how important is it to go to them with allies? Trump, Scott Bessent, Howard Lutnick, they're meeting with the Japanese today. To the extent that the U.S. can form some kind of deals with a handful of countries, does that change the dynamic? And do you think, I mean, as it relates to our other allies, that if you're Canada right now or you're the EU, that you're going to say, sure, I'll make a deal with you and I'll pay your tariff, as it relates to then going and working against the Chinese?
Look, I get on some level that, of course, elections have consequences, and this president wants to adjust our trade relations around the globe, that it's been non-reciprocal trade and wants to balance it up. But doing an all of the above strategy, trying to do it with 150 or 200 countries and doing it so aggressively and so jarringly at one time is like a home field goal, a self-inflicted injury. I do think allies are deeply important, as you said, but I don't think it's going to be that easy. I think 90 days to kind of negotiate with dozens of countries, big consequential agreements, and then China's watching all this. And don't forget the real instability for businesses and thinking about their investments. They're pulling back. They have to be much more careful about their investments. And then don't forget about the deep instability in the stock market and the U.S. Treasury markets. And those are some of our considerations, of course, as our economy weakens and our markets are far more uncertain.
Let me ask you a different question. There has been lots of, not just speculation, but we'll call it speculation for now, about potentially folks in Washington, government officials, maybe people in the administration, maybe others, I don't know, and whether they have been trading on or have been aware of things that this administration might be trying to do as it relates to tariffs. You're somebody who ran the SEC. You and I have talked about this topic at great length. I always thought that it would be great for the SEC to look at these things because I thought there's a way to create credibility for the government. I think you've always felt that it was harder for the SEC to do it because effectively your budget is set by Congress.
Well, Andrew, I think our capital markets work best when the public, the investors, think that nobody else has an edge. I mean, they might do better research, but they don't have an insider information edge. And that's critical. And I think trusting government similarly. And I think it's really critical that folks don't trade on inside information, particularly those, whether it be in Congress or be in the executive branch or the judiciary. That's a really critical thing. Yes, the Securities and Exchange Commission from time to time investigates government officials, whether it be in the judiciary, Congress, or executive, about insider trading. They're hard investigations, but I do think it's really critical to our confidence in our government and our confidence in the markets.
So this guy would have you believe that, what's her name? What's that Congresswoman's name? Nancy Pelosi. That Nancy Pelosi became the world's greatest trader, literally the world's greatest trader, not because she has insider information, but because she has a good team of researchers. Anybody else buying this? Anybody else? No? Nothing?
So when you see news that somebody like Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene disclosed that she ended up purchasing tens and hundreds of thousands of dollars of stock on April 8th and 9th, this is the day before President Trump made the announcement pausing the global tariffs, and then also dumped some Treasury bonds during this period. What do you think? And do you think that the SEC should be investigating what government officials are doing? Does knowing what the president may or may not do constitute inside information?
Well, I'm not going to comment on any one member of Congress and anyone.
You're not the head of the SEC. You can say whatever you want.
But I'm going to say what I want here.
Okay.
I think it would be best for the American public, and Congress has considered this over the years, to actually take a real look. Congress take a real look and self-impose some restrictions. We at the Securities and Exchange Commission self-imposed. We went beyond the government ethics rules and self-imposed on ourselves restrictions on people like myself or Paul Atkins, who's going to take the honor and the oath of office shortly, to trade on individual securities. We weren't able to do that. I think that's a way to better instill confidence in your government and in the markets. And then you wouldn't have these questions about individual members of Congress.
What is your confidence or lack of confidence that right now, insider trading or other laws that the SEC would effectively oversee corporations are going to be enforced during this administration?
They weren't enforced before.
I think it's a challenge. The Securities and Exchange Commission, a great agency, when I got there, had shrunk a little bit from 4 years earlier, about 5%. And we just grew it back to where it was in 2016. They have now shrunk it considerably. It's about 20% smaller. I think that's hard. It's a cop on the beat, and markets work best when you have that cop on the beat. Just like the highways, we do need traffic lights and we do need cops. So to your question, I think the market just inevitably, when the agency's 25% smaller, is going to be less policed, less overseen for fraud, manipulation, insider trading, and things like that. And I think corporate issuers will get their questions answered a lot slower. It's a really, listen, it's part of the secret sauce of American success in our markets. And I think your viewers benefit by a fully staffed Securities and Exchange Commission.
Have you weighed in on prediction markets? You know, when Robin, so they've prediction markets, super popular, obviously. We all like to look at them, you know, who's going to win president and what's going to happen, whatever the case may be. Now they're on Robinhood. You can bet on sports outcomes. It's kind of getting you close to the sports betting piece of it. But prediction markets would be kind of a fun to look. It'd be fun if CNBC could host prediction markets. You know, should we be able to? Should they be broadly legal in this country?
Well, Kelly, I used to be honored to chair another agency, the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, and we took a lot of look at that 10, 15 years ago, and I know more recently. And I think that it does help people hedge certain risk. if you're hedging a risk of weather events and you're hedging a risk with regard to non-traditional financial risks and so forth.
Can it just be fun? Do you have to even hedge a risk? Could I just spend $1 saying this is what I think is going to happen with, I don't know, March Madness?
Dictator risk? As we had in the last election. Huh?
No, I understand that. I think that it can be fun. I get it, and it can be fun. And following sports is a wonderful pastime. But I think you also have to be careful against manipulation in those markets, people being taken advantage of, and then, of course, the integrity of the game itself. Now, an important thing is the integrity of politics.
On the Robinhood app.
The integrity of politics.
The integrity of sports is unclear in the era of sports betting, so it seems that regulators have had no problem kind of letting these ships sail and trying to clean it up in the aftermath. But again, you can, on the Robinhood app, I mean, you can go do this now.
No, I understand. And these have been debates for many decades. I think that it's a balancing for the sports leagues, the balancing of bringing fan enthusiasm, fan interest in to the game, and versus the integrity of the game to ensure that it's still, fairly competed on a field of their choice. I worry about it more as it relates to politics and the integrity of politics, the integrity of picking our national leaders. And whether you're Republican or Democrat, whether you're conservative or liberal, just the importance of the integrity of our democracy.
Hey, Gary, final question for you. As you probably watched, so many CEOs were doing almost victory laps in the crypto world as these enforcement cases were dropped by this current administration of cases, of course, cases that you had brought. As you watched that, what did you think?
Look, I'm going to step back a little bit from any individual cases and just say this again to your viewing public. This is a very small part of the financial markets, but if you were interested in this, think about every financial asset sort of trades on a bit of fundamentals and sentiment. But this field is almost 99, or maybe one might say 100% sentiment and very little on fundamentals. And while something like Bitcoin may persist for a long time because there's 7 billion people around the globe, a real keen interest in it, there's 10 or 15,000 others of these tokens. And to think through your own risk, your own personal risk about where are the fundamentals. And if this is just about sentiment, then generally those don't end up well, and most then go down.
Are you talking, you're contrasting Bitcoin with the other ones, or they're all the same?
Joe, I'm glad that you spoke up because I know you're a bit of a Bitcoin enthusiast and think less well of the rest of those. It's how you and I have always connected in the green rooms. But think of these 10 or 15,000 other tokens, and just on the economics, just on the fundamentals, what are the fundamentals?
No, I know, but that was my question. You throw Bitcoin in with the rest of them, or do you think Bitcoin is different is qualitatively different than the others?
I think there's the distinction is similar to in metals, there's only 2 or 3 precious metals. We humans have a certain fascination with 2 or 3 precious metals like gold. I don't think we humans will have a fascination with 10 or 15,000 meme or sentiment tokens trading over the years.
So he compares it to precious metals and says that we only are fascinated with 2 or 3 precious metals, so they're probably only going to be fascinated with 2 or 3 cryptos. Little thing he's forgetting here called the S&P 500. Are we only fascinated with 2 or 3 stocks, or are we fascinated with 500 stocks, Gary?
Gary, I wanted to actually ask you something different, which is you're teaching AI now. And one of the things that seems to be happening in the marketplace is there's a lot of trading taking place as a function of AI, meaning literally AI programs are operating on the exchange. Do you look and think to yourself that a year or 2 years from now, I don't know what that that literally human beings are not going to be making real decisions, and that AI is going to be able to be a better investor than us?
I think artificial intelligence is the most transformative technology of our times, and it's changing so much of finance, investment management, underwriting, and trading, as you say. And I think over the next 5, 12 years, it will change and transform, as you say, a lot. Humans will still have a role, but as we put more of this in the algorithm, it will shift. One thing about trading, though, is there's also about latency. And the proprietary trading shops need to be very quick. And generally, the AI is not that quick. It's quick, but not that quick. But 3-6 years from now, I think you're right. And I think even this program is being analyzed by artificial intelligence. And I'm no longer a federal regulator, but you can bet that AI is analyzing every word of Jay Powell for his sentiment, every word of the President of the United States, and all the CEOs that you have on this TV. It's the algorithms through sentiment analysis. That's not a bad thing. It's pattern recognition. We're going to benefit as a society, but there's also big risks in the markets as we become more computer algorithm and less human.
Hey, Gary, we're going to be up against a hard break, so just one final plumbing question, actually about the credit markets, but as it relates maybe to the equity markets and as it relates to banks. I'm curious, when you look at the private credit business, the shadow banking system, how interrelated do you think it is today to the regular banking system, or at least the rest of the markets, and whether we need to be concerned about it?
I think it's a feature, not a bug, that we have significant non-bank finance in this country, and that we're less focused on banks than any other country around the globe. I think that's generally been a good thing of that competition, but it's not without risk. There is definitely risk in the private credit business. And as if we are going into a recession, and many people think that that's 60 or so % chance and so forth, and I don't need to requote Jamie Dimon and others, but if we're moving into that recession, private credit will be tested in a way it hasn't been tested recently.
Go home, Gary. You're drunk. All right, let's get back into the chat. Good old Gary Gensler, entertaining the masses with his hucksters. The hucksters are running wild, brother. Joy, good evening. And Robin, Patreon family, I'm tuning in late. 50 push-ups. Mike, what's up, buddy? Habs just clinched a playoff spot. See your Leafs in the second round. I don't know if they're going to make it to the second round, brother. They're playing Washington, aren't they? It's going to be a tough out, brother. It's going to be a tough out. I mean, it would be pretty cool. Habs Leafs second round. Let's go. Beebs, freaking Gary owns crypto. Who we kidding? Gamma Goddess, there she is in the house. Sorry I'm late. Strawberry Dragon, I do not miss seeing Gary's face. Who cares what Gary thinks? Go back in your hole you crawled out of. I agree. Gensler looks like death, freaking liar. Yes. He definitely looks like he crawled out of a hole. Damn legacy media puppets are clowns. Yes, beast mode. I'd like to fart an incredible green fart cloud in Gary's face. He'd probably like it. That's the problem. Paul, what's up, buddy? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Otaku's in the house. Gary the Goblin Gensler strikes again. Yeah, we had to have a little bit of nostalgia. It took you guys back to 2020, 2022, 2023. Bringing in my favorite Jigglypuff from Smashboard. There you go. Approved. Carlos, I thought we were done with that fool Gensler. Yeah, no kidding, man. Chris, don't forget Elizabeth Warren's worth $200 million. Yeah, no kidding. How do you make $200,000 a year, but you're worth $200 million? Must be nice. The world's greatest trader, you mean? Yeah. Yes. Trader. Yes. The Pelosi thing seems a little fishy if you ask me. Yeah, 100%. Or in her case, a little yeasty. There you go. Does Nancy have a Patreon? Ethereum gat ass. Oh man, if I was a chicken and I knew lots of ducks, I would probably end up learning how to quack. There you go. Can we have Nancy Pelosi do some TA for us? To be fair, massive gains were made by both sides. Oh yeah, that's not a partisan thing. That's not a partisan thing. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's a problem with the SEC, not with the Democrats or Republicans. The fact that the SEC doesn't investigate them and lets them get away with it is the problem on both sides. Sorry, I'm out. I can't hear him again. You love it, Chris. You love it, brother. Jigglypuff used her rollout special to sing dudes. Nice. Good evening. Go time. What's up, buddy? If we pull all government spending on blockchain, wouldn't all the government spending be fully accountable? Yes, it would. Why do you think so many politicians don't want blockchain technology adopted? Because every single dollar that's donated to them for their campaigns, every single dollar that they get from everywhere would be on blockchain and would be completely transparent, and they don't want you to know where they're getting their money from, right? Because you have politicians like Elizabeth Warren telling you that she's against big banks, but yet big banks are the ones who are paying her, right? So that's why they don't want blockchain technology. Money would be tracked. It would be fully transparent, right? Voting would be fully transparent. Sad that Gensler went from unbiased, respected MIT professor to left-wing. Yes, exactly. Exactly. Yep. Heavily programmed robot can't speak freely even after leaving his position. Yeah, because he's still trying to cozy up to get a position, right? A better job. Skim Beebles in the house. What's up, brother? Good to see you, man. Oh man, time to short AI. Nice. Jared, what's up, man? Why does he look like an aged Daffy Duck? Tola with the super sticker. Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate you, man. Thank you, Tola. Don't forget to join Crypto Futures Patreon. A secret society of rich weirdos are waiting for you. Yes, guys. So like I said, there won't be a live stream over there tonight. I am sick. I got to go lay down. I'm going to take some Neocitrin right now. I'm going to pop some ibuprofen, get some sleep. Oh, I'm sweating just sitting here, guys. So listen, get over to the Patreon, though. Book your one-on-one coaching calls over there, guys. I will be doing more one-on-ones tomorrow. So we do them every single day. So get over there, book your one-on-ones. They're absolutely free as a Patreon member, guys. So take full advantage of the tools at your disposal. And let's make sure your portfolio is structured properly. Let's make sure you're not over diversified or under diversified or anything in between, guys. Check it out. The link is down below. It's in the comment section. It's in the pinned comments. It's in the description. It's everywhere you want to be. Check it out, guys. I'm going to get some rest. And I will see you guys tomorrow. God bless.